watching the Barryanakbarim podcast.
So what's up, guys? It's Barryanakbarim tuning into the Barryanakbarim podcast. That was fast. I'll talk about real life stories from real people. Available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You guys know where to check me out. It's on Instagram. For those who do not know, go to Instagram and just type Barryanakbarim, BARYANAKBARM. You can find all the updates about the podcasts, updates, and what's up with Barryanakbarim. You can go from there. For those who have not subscribed, you can click subscribe on the channel. And it's been episode 53, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, man. So 53. Yeah.
Damn.
So I don't need to introduce him lah. You guys know who he is already. Bryler, welcome to the podcast, man.
Hello. Yeah, this is the third time I've been on a podcast. I think, this is... I'm enjoying this, to be honest.
Really?
Whenever you're like inviting, let's do another episode, and I'm always down for it.
You're not bored of me?
No. Because I think, I've said this time and time again, like, your podcasts offer a lot of value, man.
Serious?
And yeah, so it's always a nice session whenever I get to come here and record an episode and do a little bit of catch up lah. This is just another catch up session between the two of us, where it's been a year since our last episode, right?
Yep.
So that's that. So I'm glad to be back on the show. I'm excited.
Woo-hoo.
It's been a year.
It's been a year. It's nice to have you here back again after a year. I mean, this is a very impromptu session where I just texted Bryler and said, "Hey, dude, let's just catch up, man, and do it on a podcasting style where we just record our shit." And here we are after a year. But as always, for those of you who do not know how this podcast begins, we always started off with a card, 6 cards over here. It's called Icebreaker, where we want to know about our guests more. So we have 6 categories here: life lessons, dreams, exposed, beliefs, self-awareness, and courage. Bryler, you know the drill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll just pick
2.
1, 2.
Go.
All right. Since I'm wearing green today, so let's go with green.
Okay.
And gray. Let's go with that.
Okay.
Right.
Before that, a little bit special, not special lah, a bit different from our previous recordings that we've had. No booze for today.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the moment I walked in, I said, "I hope you don't mind bringing. I hope you don't mind me bringing coffee." And I was like, "Oh, I already prepared the beer." I'm like trying to cut down the alcohol, man.
Okay. So the reason is gym.
Yes, I'm trying to get back on the fitness side. I'm 29 years old. It's not that old, but we talk about it off record just now, where it's better to start now than to start later in life.
Yeah.
And
I mean, the same goes for me too. Like, I want to cut down on my booze.
Yeah.
So now I'm drinking apple cider vinegar.
Yeah, at first I thought it was corn tea.
No,
do you drink corn tea?
No, I don't.
Dude, corn tea is the best.
What's nice about it?
So, when you boil corn,
okay,
right? That soup you get from the corn.
Yep.
It is actually a very healthy
drink.
Okay.
Yeah. I do drink that.
Yeah, so I heard that, correct me if I'm wrong, anyone who's watching this, but it's actually good for the heart.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
So,
do you know that?
So every time, when we prepare corn at home, I'm always the first one to take a sip of that.
Nice.
It's nice, man. With a little bit of salt in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's a Bidayuh thing.
Yeah.
Because my mom would say the same thing as well. Hey, drink the soup, drink the corn soup.
Yeah.
Can we drink this? And she said, yeah, sure, can.
Yeah.
It's I even told my mom just now before you came in, hey mom, can you prepare me ginger drink? I like it hot. She said, okay, later on in the evening lah, I'll boil it for you. So another drink that I drink lah. It's either apple cider, ginger, or honey, hot honey.
Right. Out of all of that, honey sounds the best.
Honey.
Yeah, ginger. I'm a bit, I'm okay with it. I can drink it, but it's very mood dependent. Yeah, for me lah, because I don't have any issues with anything internal as of now, right?
Yeah.
So when I drink it, it's more of like, you know what? It's been a while, so I drink it.
I see. Okay. Honey is okay. Like, it's like my snack now before I go to sleep. I'll take 1 tablespoon and just eat it as it is, or drink it, whatever you call it.
It's very soothing to the throat, huh?
Correct.
Like honey.
When it comes to your throat, when it goes down, it slides down.
Especially when you're in a field where you have to talk a lot.
Yeah. You have to take care of this voice, man.
Yes.
This is my bread and butter, actually. Even though I don't get paid, but this is my Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, so how does this work again?
Choose one card.
I already so I open it and read, and then we take chances of answering.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with the gray one.
Okay.
Where are you settling when you could be thriving? What does this mean?
I don't know, man.
Where are you settling
Where are you settling?
when you could be
You could be
thriving? A bit hard lah to answer
Okay,
this.
change.
Okay.
Change.
How has inaction impacted your life negatively? Oh,
Ooh.
this is nice.
Okay.
Inaction meaning you don't do
Yeah,
anything
yeah,
about it, right?
yeah.
Like I said, I think there's a lot of things that I could have taken care of a lot earlier. Some of it is because my work sometimes require me to be a talent, right?
Yep.
So I could have taken care of my face a lot better. Meaning to say, don't let it dry up so much. These days, I'm using moisturizers like 24/7.
Serious?
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
And it helps a lot.
Okay.
I'm even using this thing called repairing cream.
What the hell?
Yeah, I hope it repairs my face lah.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, working out, you know, if I would have done all of these things a lot earlier, I think I would maintain I would look in a certain way lah, and I think that would help boost my what do you call that? My impact in the work that I do sometimes,
Right.
you know.
What is the turning point like? Maybe someone said, "Hey, your face is very oily."
I think one of
Someone
the
told
many
you?
factors
Yeah.
is, of course, my partner in crime,
okay,
my girlfriend, right?
Right.
So she said like, yo, you gotta start wearing moisturizer. Look at your face, it's constantly dry. I've always known that it's dry, but I've never took any action about it.
Never care about it. Like, oh, whatever.
You know, like us guys, we're like, yeah, whatever, dude.
Whatever,
If it's dry, it's dry. If it's oily, it's oily. You know, we don't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I think that somehow could have been dealt with. It's just, you know, put on some moisturizer and just spread it all over your face.
Yeah.
That's basically it. It takes about 10 seconds for me to do, but I didn't want to do it. So my face got really dry.
Right.
And it was damaged up to the point where right here, if you can see like a red spot over here, it was damaged because of how dry it was.
Okay.
So right now, that is where I applied a repairing cream lah.
Okay.
Look at us, man, talking about moisturizers and repairing cream.
Yeah.
Didn't know 1 year could bring us to this.
1 year later, we talk about our facial habits and all that. Yeah.
But for me, it was that I could have taken care of my body, my appearance a lot earlier.
Right.
You know, moisturize your skin and work out, I guess. I wish I could have done that sooner. I could have, but I didn't do.
Yeah.
So it impacted me a lot lah. Like, for example, the reason why I'm working out is because I'm gaining weight. So when I first moved back here, I was 78 kg, and and now I'm at 90.
Oh,
so that's a pretty drastic jump.
Yeah.
And my knee is not taking it very well lah.
Okay.
My knee, my ankles, you know, of course.
Sorry for them.
Yeah. So it's just about time for me to do something about it, and I am doing something about it. So I hope that answers the question, the fact that inaction impacted my life negatively.
Woohoo.
Let's hear yours, man.
Siggy, are you still?
Oh, okay.
Are you still?
No, I'm full on vape right
Vape
now.
now. Okay. All right. So let me see the question again. Green color, right?
Yes, correct. Here you go.
How has inaction impacted your life negatively? I would say I'm a person that I'm an overthinker. So I did a lot of thinking, reflecting on life for the past few days, to be honest. This week, to be honest. Because I had some vanilla project to think of. And then I feel like the more I get myself nearer towards the final year project deadline, the more stressed I am. I feel like I have all these negative thoughts telling me that, oh, dude, you're not worthy, man. I mean, why bother, you know? You can just slacking off, blah, blah, blah. Look at the life that you're having now. Why don't you just continue on with whatever that you have now? Screw your final year project. But
sorry, is it for your degree?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
Yeah. But there's another thought on me that says, hey, you've been doing this for almost 4 years, man. Why stopping? I guess all this left to right, positive, negative, it's always the negative thoughts that win me over. And to a point where, you know what? I will try to fight that negative thought. I'll try my best to be as positive as I can, which I have recently listened to this podcast. It says that the number one reason why people are into anxiety and depression is because they ruminate themselves with the past.
Yeah.
And they self-negative themselves by thinking of whatever happened in the past. And then they overthink to a point where it will happen also in the future. So what that podcaster said is that what you can do now is just to stay in the moment, just be where you at right now. Just what's that word that
Be
says
present?
Be present. Yeah, just try to be in the present moment and enjoy whatever that you have right now, because whatever happens tomorrow you never know, but what happened in the past you knew about it. So what you can do now is that to just focus on what you have right now, one step at a time.
Yeah.
So I've been trying by setting up my own regime. Like, okay, 7 a.m. I wake up, I'll get my 1 tablespoon of honey, go to work. After go to work, I do some reflections, Bible reflections, and after that I'll go breakfast with my friends. And after breakfast with my friends, I'll do my work. But if work doesn't require me to do anything, then I'll just focus on my at least 1 paragraph or 2 paragraphs of my final year project. And that is what I've been doing since Wednesday. It's still baby steps, but I'm very proud of myself because I started jogging again yesterday, which I have not done so since last year. And I could actually run for 2 kilometers without stopping.
Really?
Without wheezing.
God damn.
Yeah.
2 kilometers?
Yeah.
Bruh.
And this morning, I woke up at 7:30. I had breakfast for a while with my mom. And then 7:45, 7:50, I tied up my shoes and ran again for 1 kilometer.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I
Yeah.
hope that I could continue on these things that I'm doing now.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack, man,
Yeah.
from what you said,
Yeah.
like that whole anxiety stuff. I myself have had a pretty, I would say, a very severe case of rumination, actually.
Okay.
This happened before MCO, when I was still based in West Malaysia. So I don't know, something about being far from home makes me feel so off, right? But ruminating, it really, really, what do you call that? Paralyzes you.
Correct.
The thoughts are, it's just too intense sometimes, where you just like, dude, I should do something about it,
Yeah.
but why can't I?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're trying really hard to
Yeah.
get through that thoughts,
Yeah.
those thoughts, but somehow, somewhat, it's just really, it's really difficult now.
Yeah.
But I think I've gone past that. I've managed to go through that part of my life.
Yeah.
But then again, I believe, things macam tu, it's gonna come and go.
Yeah.
And we can't be too confident where, in
Correct.
a sense where, hey, I overcome anxiety, I overcome depression, because, sometimes these kind of things are permanent. And the best you could do is to manage it and not cure it.
Yeah.
And you have to come to that sense of awareness where it's like, you know what? It's going to be like this for the rest of your life. So just try to manage it, I suppose.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Rather than get rid of it, you just follow the
Yeah.
flow and play
Because
along.
You see, there's this one, I wouldn't say motivational speaker, but a spiritual guy that I follow on social media. He always said that, do not try to get, what do you call that? Do not try to change who you are, even if it's for good or bad. So that's a very controversial take. If you know that you're doing something good, you shouldn't acknowledge yourself in a sense where it's like, hey, I did something good today, You should just be okay with whatever is.
Yeah.
It's some form of what do you call that? Stoicism.
Yeah. Stoicism.
Yeah. So whether you do good, bad, whatever,
Yeah.
it's just life. you
Yeah.
know? So I think that in a way helped me also to change a lot of my perspective towards anxiety, because dude, my anxiety case was as severe as you can think.
Yeah.
It was up to the point where I was going through this thing called derealization. Are you familiar with derealization?
Heard of it before?
So derealization is a form of sensation that you feel like you're viewing yourself from a third player
person.
perspective. Yeah,
Oh,
third person
shit.
perspective.
Okay.
But it's not quite literally. You just feel like it, So that was pretty eerie at one point. I went through that for 3 months straight. Couldn't sleep properly. Had 2 hours of sleep. And what's fucked up is I told myself, you know what? If I worked out, I'll solve this issue. So I worked out. And every day I would work out with minimum like 2 to 4 hours of sleep. So that becomes an unhealthy habit, right?
Yes.
So that's that lah. Like, I think I've gone through a very severe case, and to hear that you're going through all of that as well, I could relate a lot to it. But how has that been? How have you been trying to cope with it other than those things? Do you do journal?
I don't do journaling, but I do a lot of self-reflection on what have I learned from my past, and what can I do to rectify today? Like, okay, if let's say I did something in the past, okay, why don't, for example okay, in the past I will do my assignments 1 week before deadline, for example. So today, starting from these three days, I started to do one paragraph at a time, so that I don't do things last minute. Because what I learned is that when you do things last minute, when you're procrastinating, it has something to do with your mental health being whatnot. I had a very bad anxiety towards the deadline of my last assignment that I about to send off, because I did it last minute, dude. The deadline was supposed to be on Saturday, but I started doing it on Thursday, Friday.
But what is that? If you don't mind me asking, what is that fear that you have? Should you say like okay, obviously the good thing here is you've finished it up on time.
Yeah, on time, yeah.
But what is that fear based on? What is the bad thing?
I could have done better.
You could have done better.
Yeah, I could have done better.
So that anxiety revolves around man, I could have done better myself.
Yeah.
And you don't want to feel that way.
Yeah, I don't want to feel that way anymore after this.
Okay.
So I mean, lessons learned. Like I'll try my best to follow my own rhythm, my own pace, rather than just do it 3 days before deadline. Because I felt
sounds a lot like me, man. I feel like that's me.
Yeah,
like I do a lot of things last minute.
Yeah.
But yeah, go on.
I felt like if I did a self-reflection, like if I started earlier, I could have produced better quality than what I did 3 days before the deadline. Like, this is so not barryanakbarim. I know my quality. I know I can do better, but I'm so sorry, lecturer. This is what I can do. This is what I can give to you. But fingers crossed, hopefully next time for the next assignment, I can do better. And
would you say, like right now in the situation that you're in and the approach that you're taking, would you say that you're doing a lot better?
Fingers crossed, hopefully, because the next semester starts next month. So hopefully I can do better.
That's great, man.
But I'm starting off now. Starting to read off whatever that I need to head prep myself for what's next on the coming semester.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So going back to that whole journaling thing, right? As crazy as this sound, man, but I've done journaling, and it's crazy because you would find it so weird that just writing down the thoughts could help lift about 50% of the burden.
I see.
Because now you see, I read this somewhere. The reason why journaling is so good is because you're battling a mental fight.
Right.
So when it's mental, you can't see it. It's not physical.
Yep.
But when you write it down, now it's physical.
It's
right?
obvious. Yeah.
So now you find it a lot easier to tackle that issue because you can see it.
Right.
But when it's a mental battle, it's just like, I don't know where to start, man.
Yeah.
Like I still keep a lot of my journals from when I was still in Semenanjung. If you look at it, there are some journals where I was truly disturbed with my thoughts and all of that, right? The first few pages always starts with scribbles. Not scribbles as in like just drawing. It's literally me trying to write. But it end up being scribbles because my mind is in such
messy?
Yeah, it was in a mess.
Yeah.
But as the page goes by, my handwriting got better. So
see.
that to me was pretty insane. I'm like, what the hell is happening? So I managed to, I guess, go through that also with the help of this kind of tools, journaling. And I would recommend a lot of you guys, if you guys are going through a really rough day, just sit down, play some calming lo-fi maybe.
Yeah.
Have a cup of tea or honey or apple cider, or corn tea, and just start writing down your thoughts. It is something that I believe is very helpful for me at least.
Yeah. For me, I don't write it down from pen to paper. For me, it's like, okay, at the end of the day, I'll just lights off. I'll have 5 minutes. Okay, this is what I did for the past 3 days. I'll turn the lights off, close my eyes, and I think back on the day itself, like what I've been through from 6:30 to before I go to sleep, and then I reflect on, okay, these were the things that I did today. I helped an auntie out with her thing. I help a student out to do that thing, blah blah blah. And when I think back, I was like, oh, this is my day today. I feel so thankful. Yeah. So at the end of the reflection, I'll pray to God and I'll thank Him for another day because okay, this is getting dark.
Speaking of that, being grateful.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not one of the most religious person,
okay.
right?
Yeah, I'm not as well.
Yeah. So last time I always tell myself, you should be grateful for everything. So I always tell myself, hey, you did this, you did this. I even started a series on my Instagram called What Am I Thankful For Today? That lasted for about 4 episodes.
I love it, man. I watch it.
So that lasted for a few episodes. But I noticed that ever since I start off with thanking God first, things got a lot better.
Yeah.
So I think, that to me is something quite unique as well. Journaling, thanking God for another day, especially thanking God for another day. I think that is very crucial,
Correct.
Because dude, what are the chances of you being 1 in a billion,
We have a friend who passed away while in his sleep, dude. We know that guy.
Oh,
Billy.
yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace, Billy. Tan as well.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Billy and Tan.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 good seniors that,
All
and
good friends.
Yeah, you're good friends.
Yeah.
And to think that the chances of us being alive today is just like you should thank someone for it, lah. You shouldn't. I would say thank yourself, of course, for taking care of yourself. But then again, some people take good care of themselves, and life just,
Yeah. I always put myself in this. Okay, what if Billy were to be alive again? I'm sure that he would do a lot of things that he wanted to do before he passed away. That's the sort of mindset I have. Okay, if those people are in the hospital today who are doing chemotherapy, those people in the hospital, they're being told that today is the last day. I'm sure that they have a lot of lists of things that they wanted to do. And what about me, who's alive and well? I should be grateful, man.
Yeah, don't take things for granted.
Yeah, correct. I have lost a lot of lives. And there was this one time, I think it was last month, I think. On one day itself, I received 4 news of deaths coming from an ex-colleague. A friend's mother passed away. My great-great-uncle passed away. Another colleague's spouse passed away. All at the same day. I was like, man. I mean, I would not think of it that way when I was in 21, when I was 22, because we were still young.
Yeah.
We still think that life is
all about fun and games.
Fun and games, like life.
How to get this girl to like me and all that.
Yeah. But once you grow, I don't know. Once you grow, when you reach your 30s, once you're about to reach your 30s, you start to think of, oh man, I should have be grateful. I should be grateful of what I have right now, because I'm sure that there are a lot of people who want to trade places with me. Yeah. So that's how I see it, man.
It is.
Be grateful. And that's how I instead of going back to that just now, instead of journaling it down, I play this I imagine things in my head, and then at the end of the day, I'll thank God, thank Him for another day.
Affirmations lah, basically.
Yeah, affirmations.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah. And then the next day happens, the same thing as well. Sign of the cross. Thank you, Lord, for today. Let's see how it goes. Let's rock the world. Amen. Yeah. That's my prayer, man.
For me, my prayer is most of the time. A lot of my friends question, before I eat, I pray, right? And they're they notice I do the cross, right? I do this, and then I just mumble for split 2 seconds, and I did the cross. And go one time, my friend LS asked me, dude, what the fuck are you praying? It's so fast.
Express.
I'm like, basically, here's my prayer. Thank you, God, for everything, including today. Amen. That was it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think that on its own is already. Yeah. I mean, I'm a Catholic. There are ways to do that, actually.
Yeah.
But then again, for me, I just resonate with that much more. Just thanking everything, to be honest. Yeah.
It's your style, anyway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As long as the prayer is being heard, settle.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Next card.
All right. So we started with the red one.
Yeah, the one.
This one.
Okay.
susah.
Cut.
So we'll take one.
Okay.
Red.
Okay, red.
What do you think is the most damaging modern industry and why? Okay.
Ooh.
Interesting. You want to start first?
You want to start first? Go ahead. I'm still thinking. Take your time.
Modern. What do you think is the most damaging modern industry, and why? I can't really pick one, man, because you see, I'm as much as I am.
You want me to start first?
Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think is the most damaging modern industry and why? It's not damaging, but it's helpful, but at the same time, it disrupts people's creativity and critical skills. AI.
Okay.
AI. It's a great modern industry where it could help someone to do their work easily. Can go to ChatGPT and just type, how can I write my caption? I don't write captions through AI lah. It's just that I've seen some people doing it through.
Oh yeah,
ChatGPT.
I'm one of them.
You're one of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But basically, I write it down first and then say, rephrase this into better ways.
Okay. Yeah, no judging. Okay, so that is AI. So why I see it as damaging is because I just saw a video yesterday from Yusuf Dikesh, you know that guy, the Turkish guy who won Silver Olympics.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So there was an interview of him speaking in English in an Australian accent. So everyone was applauding his English because his English was so perfect. And even some would say like, oh, he is a certified serial killer. He's a certified CIA agent, international agent, blah, blah, blah. Everyone commented on his English. And then there was this comment that says, guys, this is fake. This is not how he sounds like. And then I went to YouTube, and true enough, that's not his accent.
Yeah.
So I figured,
crazy.
Man, if I were to be that gullible and believe that is his video, I'll tell to my friends, hey, nangga English yang acak Australian accent gila But if you don't do your research, if you don't scroll down for comments, if I don't see that sort of comment, I'll just blindly believe that he's actually someone that knows how to speak Australian English.
Yeah.
Yeah, to me that is pretty much damaging lah, because it can deceive you from reality. Yeah.
You see, that's the thing. Like for me, I can't really find any modern industry that disrupts. Okay, AI is a very controversial topic, but I think it improve our lives a lot.
Yep.
But I think there needs to be more regulations around it.
Correct.
So that is another case. But going back to what you were saying about how AI looks so realistic on Twitter these days, you get to see a lot of this AI because probably my algorithm is like that because I'm very into optimistic science.
You're still on Twitter?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of using X these days.
X, right.
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of that platform because I think it's the only platform that truly. So let's say if it's an AI video, right? And someone posted like it is on Facebook, Instagram. Look at this video of this Turkish shooter speaking with an Australian accent. People would fall for it, not until you see a comment. But what's good about X is community notes.
Yeah.
Right? So they have a specific team that would go through about this particular topic and research about it and say, oh, it's fake. Then they will include inside that post itself, which the author cannot remove.
Yeah.
So that to me is a good platform to see which one is true, which one is not.
Yeah.
Right? So kudos to Elon Musk for that. Yeah. But like I said, I am by default I'm rather optimistic about a lot of things. I've always fantasized about the futuristic, world, this futuristic cyberpunk utopia. Right. I've always been about that.
Right.
So I can't really say there's anything that is damaging. Yeah, I can't. I'm struggling to see it because all of the things is something that I'm trying to learn myself. I can't pick one. Yeah, so there's none for me.
Right. I have a question for you. This is very random. Okay, let's talk about modern industry. This is not really modern industry lah, but let's talk about the things that we see on the internet today. I saw this post yesterday on Facebook, pinpointing pages on Facebook that gives red flags, that gives negative connotations about our Olympians, those who lost yesterday. The past few days, especially yesterday, Dabita lost her game, and then there were a few headlines which gives green flags and red flags. Green flags was one of them. I remember it was TVS because TVS's headlines was very positive in a way. Congratulations, Dabita. Although you've lost the game, you're still a queen in our hearts. Something like that, lah. But for certain channels, certain news pages, for example, M-Star lah, Astro Arena, Harian Metro, their headlines were very negative. So I'd like to ask for your opinion lah about all this journalism ethics. What are your thoughts about it? Like, I see it's going down the drain now, the standards of our journalism.
Yeah.
So
that's why you see, like, for me, I'm conflicted on this part as well. You want to scold them, but then again, they have their own KPI, which is to reach a certain amount of viewership, right? Eyeballs. And they have to do whatever means necessary to get that amount of eyeball. But at what point do we think that you've crossed the line this time, right? So I myself, it's really hard. So I don't really read a lot of tabloids or anything these days. But all in all, I think those people, they need to be more... because if they sound too good, also, it could be like, for the lack of better words, it's just another country with propaganda, you know? There's no reality smack on your face, you know? Where it's like, oh, congratulations, you have won our hearts, this and that. It's good and all that, but we don't want to create a false perception that, hey, not winning is also, you know, it's also okay. We're okay with mediocrity. So that on its own is also quite controversial if everything is so good, you know what I mean? But if everything is bad, it's also not good. So where's the middle line here? So for me, I'm always conflicted about that. But what are your thoughts? You think it's damaging?
Well, to me, especially all these Malaysian tabloids, you know, the pages that I've mentioned today, they love to create this sort of fights among commenters. Like, I agree with what the headlines say. Yeah, Dabita, she shouldn't be in the competition anymore. She should resign. Another commenter would say something in the line of, oh, she's actually a Muslim. Why do you enter such competition with all this revealing clothes and yada. I feel like as a media, as a journalism, as a journalism, what do you call it, news portal, you should know the ethics on what you should type, because you are a reflection of the nation. If the things that you type are very negative, it will also shown to the nations. Also, it will shown to those who clicked on your news and say, oh yeah, this is what I read from M-Star, man. Look at what M-Star said about Dabita, and which is true. I disagree with Dabita. I don't like the way she plays, yada. So I think these portals, they can do better. They are our mirror. And I don't want my generation of the next to take it gullibly and say, oh yeah, I believe with what this writer type. So that's the thing, right? It's I personally, I don't consume like all those negative people. The moment I see all of this, I only do it for the fun of it. You know, like recently on Facebook, there was this guy who said boycott bahasa English. Oh, is there such thing?
What the fuck, dude? Like, so there's this guy who posted in a group, jom ramai-ramai boycott bahasa English. Kenapa nak ajar anak kita belajar bahasa English? So I'm like, what the fuck is this guy trying to say? Nah.
I didn't know that.
So what I did was, I went through ChatGPT. This was when I wrote that caption. So I said, rewrite this, quote, this is why English is so important. I'm pretty sure that the person who posted this won't be able to understand what am I typing. And rewrite this into Royal English. So Royal English is like those macam the kings and apa semua nak. So it ended up with this. It's so interesting. This indeed illustrates the paramount importance of the English language. I'm quite certain that the individual who proposed this may lack the comprehension to grasp the essence of what I have articulated. You see, now ChatGPT, you know, even I myself, I wouldn't be able to write this, but because of ChatGPT, I'm able to. But I get what it means, you know what I mean? Pretty sure the guy doesn't.
So did you reply? I mean, did you use that?
Sorry?
Did you use that?
Yeah, I posted it. I posted it. And then a lot of my, some people commented, like my brother said, I must regrettably declare that this does not align with my expectations. And I find it most unsatisfactory.
Nice. Field trip. You guys had fun there.
So that's that lah, you know.
Right.
I mean, that those kind of news on Facebook sometimes it's very, and people like to layan it. You know?
Exactly.
People like to layan it, and for me, I'm like, if you ignore these kind of things, it will die out, and then people will notice, hey, this kind of post doesn't bring attention.
Yeah.
But we still layan, ba?
We live in a world where hate sells.
Yeah.
Negativity
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But what to do, you know? It's people live life for the most part for the drama, you know. There's not a lot of spice in their life because a lot of the things that requires hard work and all of that, it's not easy lah.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to just type on your phone, post it up.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier. Say this guy wants to boycott bahasa English. Go to the fucking Ministry of Education or what so and give up solid reasons as to why we shouldn't speak English in our country.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a firm believer that all Malaysians should speak bahasa.
Yeah.
I really don't like it when I see a local and they don't speak bahasa.
Yeah.
I disagree with that completely.
Yeah.
Even though English is my first language, but I don't want to let bahasa die out as well.
It's your identity.
Yeah. So I always use this example. Imagine going to Korea, Japan, or German, and you just so happen to speak. And then you go to this Korean fellow and said, "Annyeonghaseyo." Oh, sorry, I don't speak Korean. Wouldn't you feel like, what the fuck? You don't speak Korean?
Yeah.
Right? So it throws you away, lah. You know, it throws you off. So I've always been a big advocate of preserving the bahasa language. And be it even like Bidayuh language also, I've always been a very I want to keep the language. Yeah.
Although our Bidayuh is very pasar.
Yeah. Dude, I've learned a lot of new Bidayuh language. So recently I've been working with this guy from Singai. So I'm from Singai, half Singai also kan.
Singai too.
So I've learned a lot of new language from him, and after hanging out with him for quite some time, we come to some digging, and apparently I was his uncle. I'm his Soma lah. So Soma is for a higher rank uncle lah, right? Higher rank in the family tree basically. But because I'm younger than him, whenever he calls me Soma, so a lot of people were like, no need to call me Soma lah, you know, you're older than me or we're the same age, just call me bro or anything. But for me, I want it. It's not because I feel like I want the respect, I want that, but I want to preserve that.
Correct.
You know?
You're right.
I want to preserve that whole culture of referring to someone according to pangkat.
You're right.
It's dying, man.
Yeah.
It's dying. Yeah. Even ingan, you know. Do you use ingan
of
with your parents, right?
Of course.
And these days you see a lot of Bidayuh kids just right?
And
it throws you off like, dude, that's not how you speak to your parents or your uncles. You know?
Not everyone knows that. Not everyone knows that.
So even some people our age, they bimu'u with their mom.
Yeah. Oh, shoot.
For those of you who are not familiar with the Bidayuh language, mu'u is kaula, you.
You.
But ingan is more on a broader term. It's like
Kami kita.
You guys. It's in a literal translation. It's you guys. You're referring to them as a bigger identity lah, sort of.
A more respected way.
So because when you say mu'u, it's kind of like too personal. This person is not your close friends. These are your parents, you know. But yeah, that's that.
Okay. That's your take.
Yeah.
Okay, how has it been, man, since last year we came here? Let's do a throwback. Let's do a KPI.
I think let's revisit.
Let's revisit.
We follow up with our previous one lah.
KPI.
Yeah. I think
you've done a lot, man.
I've done a lot, but I think it wasn't as I'm not trying to say it's as good, but it's less intense than what I've done. So last year was a bit more laid back. I was not looking for a job actively. I was trying to pay attention to my business, Project Amnesia. But then again, that has wouldn't say slowed down lah. But we are trying to really find our footing in the industry. And this year I was blessed with the opportunity to meet a lot of new faces. I always thought that, Kuching is so small, everyone knows each other. That is somewhat yes, true, but you don't necessarily know what these people are doing.
Correct.
And when you figure out what they're doing, you're like, what the fuck? This kind of people exist in Kuching, you know? So I've gotten the chance to meet with, shout out to, Petrus Mering, Kelvin, Mix Mape, and also Ridwan. So these names that I mentioned are people who are older than me myself lah. And Pete is one of the most awesome guy that I've met. He's done a couple of big events here in Kuching. He's participated in Oktoberfest, and he's also one of the vendors for Borneo Sonic and all of this, right? So it's really good profile, and you as a beginner, you want to meet them, and it's really interesting to hear their perspective after working on a bigger scale project. And then there's Kelvin, who is West Malaysian but married orang Singai, and just so happened that he also has expertise in digital marketing, branding, advertising, and he also does 4x4 community. Cool. I went to a 4x4 trip with them, right? Which is something I wouldn't do, by the way, but I got out of my comfort zone just to try to see things, how people that are not within my circle do things. Right. And then Mix Mape also, he's a 4x4 driver, shout out to them. And Ridwan, this one was just super recent. It's like last week I met this guy. So this guy, he runs a very successful company lah. I can't exactly mention now because it's more of like to protect whatever that we're working with him, right? But there's so many insights that I've gotten from this guy, man, and he's very good at what he does lah. And I think I learned so many things with just a few hours of sitting down with him, and it was just like describing his work experience, and then you're just, damn, how do you even get to this level, Right. And he's not that old himself. He looks fairly, I mean, he is young in spirit, he's very driven, he's very knowledgeable. Right. So that was one of a kind punya experience also lah. And I think this year itself, it's already been 8 months. Yeah, August. It's the most I've learned ever since my return back in Kuching. Because when I first returned here, all I did was try to find jobs and never really landed one because I wasn't putting too much attention to it. Right. Trying to work on Amnesia, go back home, play games and all that. So that was ongoing for like 1.5 years until I finally decided, you know what? I'm sick and tired of living this way. So let's just try to find new opportunities. So I landed a job, which I resigned last week. Oh. So what do you do, man? Did you like send spam emails, send resumes to people, or just... you mean like for that jobs? New job? No. Yeah. So I was a content creator for a company that sells EV bikes. Okay. So of course, electric bikes is a very new thing in Kuching. Electric cars, you see Tesla around these days, BYD. But electric motorbike is still a fairly new industry lah. So they needed a content creator to help reach out to the masses of Sarawak to educate them. But this particular EV brand is already well known in Thailand. In Semenanjung, Malaysia, in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong. It's very well known already. But in Sarawak, people are still reluctant, which I don't blame them. I also don't blame the industry because it's a fairly new thing. And the reason why I left that job was because I find it really hard to juggle my time for my business lah. And a lot of you guys would say that's a pretty dumb move. Why are you leaving your job for your business? And I agree with you. A lot of you might be unhappy with that decision, but I have a feeling that things will work out. Your business as in Amnesia lah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Things will work out, and I think our team at Amnesia has grown significantly. Solid. And yes, and we've gotten a better understanding on how things are operated at that level. So we're trying to look for bigger opportunities these days. So one of the big project that we did was the Harvest Fusion Festival. So Harvest Fusion Festival was just a random idea that came out, and we executed that. I MC for 14 days straight with no breaks, and it's my first time doing such intense job lah. But that worked out pretty well. So Nothing really too interesting because I feel like it's a very mundane process when you're in that journey. You know, it's not always exciting. For the most part, it's just you sitting in front of your laptop, brainstorming ideas, maintaining, scheduling. So it's pretty mundane. But when those brainstorming session happens, that's when a lot of the fun part comes in.
Correct.
Know? But that is like once in 3 months, probably. So that's that. Yeah. So what about you, man? How's things been going? Yeah.
Okay, for me, remember the interview that we both attended? The RTM interview.
Oh yeah. So yeah, let me quickly.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Let me quickly get.
Get to
as
that.
far as I'm concerned, it's RTM lah.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention any specific,
Yeah.
Unless you're okay with that.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So
okay,
we both went for an interview at RTM.
Yeah.
Right. And what's the update from your side?
No update, man.
No update?
Yeah.
Dude. They wanted me in.
Oh, really?
But it was such a tedious process, mainly because of my own shortcomings. Because what happened was, I got selected. They needed my my diploma certificate, the scroll, but I lost it.
Oh no!
Right, so I had to reapply. I flew to KL, and then I got it, and I gave it to them. They said, "Oh, we needed your scroll, not your transcript." I'm like, "Fuck." I spent 500 fucking ringgit to get over to KL because I tried calling them in Semenanjung.
Yeah.
I tried calling them from Kuching, but they would never pick up. And at the time, it was peak graduation.
Right.
So they didn't have the time to attend to this demands lah. So
Right.
I'm like, you know what? Let's speed up the process, fly there, do all these things, sort it out. And then they still needed a different thing. But it was a bit too, how to say, I was overwhelmed with a lot of things.
Right.
I said, hey, I would kindly like to take a step back from this thing entirely. Yeah. I know my parents would be upset to hear me say this. The fact that I pulled out from it because I believe they really wanted me in. But yeah. I think in a way I don't vision myself going towards that any as much as I did 10 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that.
Right. So yeah, there's no update from my end. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I heard, I had some people told me that they wanted someone who's not in the government sector to work as a contract of service. And I kind of assumed that they didn't want me in because I'm now currently a full-timer with the government sector. And they wanted someone that has nothing to do with any government jobs.
Really?
Yeah.
So probably that's why.
Yeah, that's why they don't pick me lah. So yeah, a bit. Yeah, okay, whatever. I still have this. So yeah, this is to console myself lah in a way. Like, oh, siapa aku ada podcast ba? I don't need you all this. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, so you see, that's also one of the reason why I felt like I was quite reluctant to take that step because I feel like the format of radio has been the same since how many years ago,
Yeah.
Like they should really consider podcasts as one of their shows, like their program.
Yeah.
So I feel like, man, if I'm about to go into a radio, might as well do a fucking podcast, and let's just talk.
Yeah.
Like bring in whoever you want to bring in and I'll talk with them, right?
Why don't you have one, man?
Yeah.
Podcast.
Right now we do have an idea of it's very exciting, but I can't tell it now because it's a very, very I think it's gonna be something very new lah.
Cool.
And I'm gonna tell you off records.
Okay.
If you guys want to know, you can always subscribe to our OnlyFans.
How many dollars?
But yes, if you guys want to know, be sure to like and subscribe to Barry's channel, of course.
Yes, of course.
And probably you'll find the answer there. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Fingers crossed. See how it goes.
So we are considering that. We as in. So I recently opened a new company as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm involved in 2 different companies. It's called Amnesia and Oni. Oni as in O-N-Y.
Oh?
O-N-I.
Oh, Oni.
So we were brainstorming for ideas, right? And we're like, what's a nice idea? So I just thought of like, let's use a Bidayuh word for something that sparks curiosity. Oni is the biggest resemblance of curiosity, right?
What?
It basically means what? Right? What?
Oni?
Yeah, Oni.
Oni.
So we sat down and we agreed on the name Oni. It is a pretty simple, minimalistic name, right? I think for logo would be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's that. So we're working on a podcast, of course, and we're looking to bring it something very exciting. And I think it's never done before, not only in Malaysia, but probably the entire world.
Nice.
Yeah.
English, BM?
Probably English. Yeah, English, because we're trying to attract international clients as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wish you all the best, man.
Yeah, thanks.
New channel in town. Check it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So going back,
RTM, we went for it. It was okay. The interview was okay for me because I had some experience doing it, so it was okay.
What did you do for that segment where
the last one?
The freestyle, yeah.
Okay. So we had this section where we had to freestyle our own show.
Yeah.
So pretty much I do a sort of interviewing someone who just time sambutan Hari Kebangsaan, I think. It was just around the corner at that time. So I kind of told Zach, hey Zach, can you be the event manager for that event? I want to interview you. Let's just take it as a podcast lah. He said, yeah, okay, sure. So that was my program. That was my quote unquote program lah.
Right.
Interview session with an event event manager.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I did for mine
what did you do, man?
So I think they were too caught up with the conversation that I was having.
Okay.
Up to the point where there was 3 people, right?
Yeah, the 3 of them.
They need to tell Zach to like watch the time.
Okay.
Because they were so caught up with the program that the program that I had.
Right.
So what I did was, remember my podcast, Cultivating the Masses?
Yeah.
It was basically that, but with Zach.
Oh, okay.
So Zach, you told me you've always wanted to be a radio DJ, and you have the voice for it, you have the charisma for it. But before that, what did you wanted to do? And then he was talking about himself and all that. He was on a roll, it was doing really great.
Yeah.
And I think they liked that because I managed to capture the attention.
Yeah. He's a chatterbox as well.
Yeah. He enjoyed talking about it. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
So that was what I did.
Yeah.
RTM.
So that was RTM. And I went to Coldplay.
Oh yeah, how was it, dude?
It was okay lah. It was okay.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard otherwise.
It was fun, of course. Yeah, it was fun. But it was very tedious at first before I came to the stadium. It was jam-packed, man. I have to line up for almost an hour just to get into the train because there were a lot of people. We were sandwiched inside the train. And
where were you staying at the time?
I was staying at a friend's place at Jalan Raja Uda. Yeah, some apartment there. So I took a train from that station to Sungai Besi.
Right.
And then from Sungai Besi
take it to stadium.
To the stadium. Yeah. So that line from Sungai Besi itself, it was packed.
I could imagine, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. I even told my friends, dude, menyesal aku pergi the day before. I should have arrived a day before. The concert was on a Wednesday.
But did you arrive late?
I arrived 5 minutes before concert.
Oh, in the nick of time.
8:50. I was like, oh, okay. Chun.
So the show starts at 9.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Jam. A lot of people, man.
So the road was also jammed.
The road was jammed. Train was jammed. When I was lining up, right, I figured out like, okay, what if I just ditch this idea and take Grab instead? But when I see the road, I was like, no. It was on a weekday some more, so people, it's a rush hour time lah.
Damn.
It was after 5. Everyone wanted to go home, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna go through this train, and I came 10 minutes before, and I enjoyed myself there. That was Coldplay.
But you went alone.
I went with. I was there alone, but I joined with 2 other friends. 2 other friends joined me.
So they just happened to be arriving the same that one.
Yeah.
I see.
So we met on the stadium itself.
Oh,
but the journey before to the stadium, I was myself.
Oh.
Yeah, I was by myself. So
that sounds like a fun adventure, dude.
It was a fun adventure. Like I carried my bag, being sandwiched. Yeah. It was a fun and exciting as well before I came. Yeah. So
but the festival, the concert on its own, how was it? How was Coldplay's presence on the stage?
It was an experience where I finally get to meet these people in the flesh. after
Yeah.
listening to them on radio
Right.
when I was in my childhood days, playing on Spotify, listening to them on my headphones and seeing them live. I was like, ooh, okay. They don't lip sync. They don't play some MP3s because I could hear some squeaking voice from Chris. So it really shows that okay, they really perform. It's not another lip sync MP3 style. No.
Right.
Yeah. So Coldplay was okay. That night was pretty much special to me because I celebrated a 2-year anniversary of the podcast. Yeah. So when the concert was on, it was actually the second year of this thing they sing. So it's like a
perfect timing.
happy birthday, the barryanakbarim podcast. This is my present from me to me.
Yeah. Good job, man. Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah. So yeah, fast forward January. I wanted to start the podcast with a bang 2024 and I DM'd Larissa Ping on November or December and she surprisingly agreed. So on episode 40, boom, Larissa Ping. I was like, damn. She was one of the guests that I told myself, if I want to invite someone on my podcast, it has to be Larissa Ping. Larissa Ping is my goal.
Right. And you managed to get her.
I managed to get her.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Once I have Larissa Ping, she was great. The episode was great. Check it out, episode 40. So
I should check that out. Yeah, I
Yeah.
should check that out.
So once it all uploaded on Spotify, YouTube, and then a few weeks later, I figured I've achieved that goal. So what's next?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was my goal, to be honest. Prior to episode 40, like, okay, I want to do all this so that I can interview Larissa Ping. I don't know. There's just something about Larissa Ping that I want her to be in, because she has these interesting stories about herself. And she's one of the beauty pageants that I actually respect in Sarawak. So once I achieved that goal, it's like, okay, now what? What's next?
Yeah. So what is next?
Yeah, what's next? So what I did was I randomly scrolled to people, told my friends, hey, kau masuk podcast sih, aku ada idea tau, saya guest tau, you want to be in? And yeah, they agreed. So
it's those two guys, is it?
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, those two guys talk about ghost stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tup tap, episode 53 now. Yeah, and episode 50 I invited Roxy Ixzy as well.
Oh yeah,
Like, whoa, okay.
She's a pretty fun person.
Very fun person. Very fun personality. Hi, Roxy. Yeah.
Hi, Roxy.
Yeah. What else for 2024? I think that's much lah. But that's all about my podcast. Nothing much.
So from this point onwards, let me ask you a question. Like, how do you plan to scale up in terms of? You pretty much got your structure right. You pretty much optimize it to a point where it's quite comfortable already.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what's next?
Okay.
Do you have something in mind?
Of course. Now, I don't know. It's just me reflecting on how the podcast community is in Kuching. I mean, I'm not trying to carry my basket, but what I could say is that when I started in November 2021, I was the only one that started it all.
Yeah, I saw that. I witnessed that. You're like the first.
Yeah. I'm not claiming that I'm the first lah, but what I see from the internet, I'm the first and consistent since November 2021. And then I don't blame the new guns, the new people who came in and started to do this podcasting. But when I see this whole new channels, they're better than mine. I could see that their gadgets, the quality is way better than I. They are big names, all these channels. So it got me a bit macam, alamak, how can I keep myself afloat?
Yeah.
Compared to versus these people. These names are huge, man. I'm just barryanakbarim, some random guy who started off his podcast versus these guys who are former radio announcers. They have their own podcasts.
Yeah.
How can I stay afloat? It got me pretty much in a dark place for a while. Because I was like, yo, how can I compete with these guys? Of course, I don't do these things to compete. I don't chase after the numbers. But at the same time, of course, you want that sort of numbers. Quality.
Yeah, you wanna produce things that you're proud of.
Yeah. So I was in that phase for a few months. But my friends were like, no, dude, remember why you started? And remember why you're here now. It's because of your consistency. forget about, okay, the quality you can go with better, probably audio wise you can go better, which is what I'm doing now. Camera wise, it's still expensive for me to splurge my money on, so I'm just gonna use this for the time being. Probably a better way to be a host, probably, I don't know, probably a different concept, probably a different delivery, different style of delivery, I don't know. But as of now, I'm just gonna follow the flow and see where it leads me, because I pretty much am surprised that people do actually notice my hard work.
Yeah.
There was this one guy, okay, I've told this a few times in my episodes, but for those who have probably missed out, there's this one time I actually went to Rednecks and I just got out from the toilet. I was about to wash my hands, and there's this guy called me up. Hey, baby. Huh? Hey, baby, right? Yeah. Oh, I listened to your podcast.
Oh, that's great,
shit,
dude.
Listen to my podcast.
Shit,
How do you listen? How do you know about my podcast? Oh, I listen through Brosnan's podcast.
Right.
Oh, you know Brosnan. Okay. Come, let's take a photo together. I was like, huh? In the toilet? Okay, let me wash my hands first. So he took a selfie. I was like,
that's nice, dude.
yeah, man. I'm like, yo, never thought that I'll get this recognition, but I've encountered a few occasions in public where people would, okay, even as random as apa nama? A 40-day prayer of someone who passed away. I just eating after prayer, and then there's this guy. Hey, Barry, right? Yeah. I saw your podcast. Huh? You saw my podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You see, when those kind of attention comes in, right? It's not about the fame, but rather it's
Correct.
like, well, someone acknowledges my hard work,
Yeah,
right? It was more of that.
Yeah.
Rather than like, oh shit, you know,
Yeah.
I feel well known. I
Yeah.
like
No,
this, the
no,
fame.
no.
Like it has nothing to do with that, but it's
Nah.
more of like, oh, you recognize my hard work.
Yeah.
Like for me, sometimes, dude. So on TikTok,
Mm.
I do a lot of Sarawak content, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's a lot of things that are related to Sarawak. And when people acknowledge me for my TikTok, I'm like, there's just memes, you know? Like it's just memes. So I'm just trying to pick out what's funny and just try to go trendy at the time, right? But when someone genuinely comes to me and like, dude, I've been following you since your Broke Boys days.
Oh, Broke
that,
Boys.
Yeah,
man.
that hits hard, you know?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
like, dude, do you even know fucking Broke Boys?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
holy shit, that's
Yeah.
fucking awesome.
You're an OG.
Yeah. So like you're an OG follower, lah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
that like to me, you stayed because of that. You're fascinated by the grind, the
Yeah,
hard work, you
right.
know, and you continue to support because you believe that I deserve some form of support, lah. So I'm not taking things for granted when people acknowledge me.
Yeah.
But I do wish that my hard work is being acknowledged in a sense where the quality of things I produce, like, except for TikTok, those are just brain rot stuff, you know, where I'm just posting things that I just want to ramble about.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's that. So it's always nice to be recognized for the work that you put in rather than for the trendy stuff, lah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my take lah. I mean, especially this podcasting scene, I feel like another reason why I was a bit down, it's because I don't get monetized out of this. So it gets tiring, man. When you do things. Of course you produce great quality. Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah.
Good on you, Barry. But you want something also. You want to get some support and monetize. Sustain. Yeah.
Because these things aren't cheap.
Yeah, these things aren't cheap. Yeah.
You've spent a significant amount of money to get this, to get that.
Yeah.
And the cameras and the lights, right?
Yeah.
So, the monetization part has always been tricky because, you see, I've never been monetized through my content, but my content led to me being hired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my form of monetization translate into real life rather than making money out of that platform.
Yeah.
I still struggle with that as well. Like a lot of my content, when people say, oh, dude, you know, do you make money out of this? I said, not in a way that you would think I would make money, but it still makes me money, I guess.
Yeah. Sometimes I figured, like, if only these 5 figures that I got from TikTok, I can transfer it into money wise, you know, like 50K. I don't know. Yeah. If only, but no, we live in a world where that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So that's another burnout from me lah, which is if only I get paid to do this, because with the quality that I have, I think I'm not carrying my own basket. It's just that I feel like I can get sponsorships, man. I think I can score a few sponsorships.
Yeah.
With all the numbers that I've gained, with the people that I've interviewed, the number of views that I've gotten. Of course, the views are still small, three figures, 4 figures on YouTube, but my social media presence on Instagram, on TikTok, it's there.
Yeah.
So that is my selling point lah. If people were to use my service, but as of now, in Sarawak, in Kuching particularly, it's hard to find sponsorships. They still don't see the value of sponsorship through podcasting.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I don't know. Like, have you? I don't know. Probably have some experience about sponsorship podcasting ka apa ka when you were with your Renegade days.
Yeah, so when I was with Renegade Radio for cultivating the masses, I started off not monetized up till the very end. We weren't monetized as well. So podcasting is a very, how do you say that? It's a very hard grind, especially in Malaysia lah. Which it's not that I berkira ka pa. For me, I've always wanted to do it for the sake of. So to me, when I did Cultivating the Masses, for those of you who might not know, it's a podcast that I've done back then with Renegade Radio to basically interviewing CEOs and entrepreneurs and all that.
Yeah.
And the ROI for me has always been meeting these great individuals. So I really didn't mind not getting paid. A lot of people would say, dude, what the fuck are you on about? Of course you want to get paid. Of course you want to get monetized.
Yeah.
Yes, sure. But you see, that's the thing. If I were to meet these people outside and ask them for advice, I would be charged a consultancy fee, right?
Correct.
But rather, I just want to sit down and talk to them, I wouldn't say that's equivalent to consultancy lah, but in a way, you get to dig their mind a bit deeper. So for me, it's a different case. But I would suggest, like, for your podcast, right? Maybe this, I don't know whether this will work or not. Maybe you can come up with affiliate programs.
Yeah.
Right? Have you thought of that? Yeah. So affiliate programs like those meal replacement, protein shakes, or whatever it may be lah. And whoever pays using your code, then you get a significant amount lah. Yeah, you just have to be, of course, putting the product.
Product placement.
And you have to believe in that product as well. You cannot just, oh, this is a dodgy protein powder that came out of a milk of a lion, not a cow, right? So of course you gotta be sure on that as well. Sell things that you believe in lah. Yeah,
I get you. I've drafted out my media kit on the things that I offer for the podcast, but it's still on my draft list. I haven't disseminate yet the media kit to any of the businesses out there. I'm still thinking about it lah.
Have you gotten any sponsorship prior?
Nope, none. Zero. Okay. So yeah, man. I mean, probably because my channel is small, one thing, and number two, we're in Sarawak, in Kuching, versus those podcasters, giant podcast channels in Semenanjung, in West Malaysia. As you can see, Keluar Sekejap, they have sponsorships from Vico lah. I don't know. If only I can do that here, but maybe ada lah. It's just that I haven't tried yet. Yeah,
I think after this recording, maybe we should sit down and talk about it. Yeah, because I might have a few ideas for you. Yeah. But then again, of course, that's a bit private lah. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, are you looking to do this full time?
Not full time lah. I'm still want to do this on a part-time basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
But is the goal to do it full time?
I don't know yet, man. I don't know. I don't see this as a full-time thing lah, because I still prefer this as a side hustle. Right. It's a side hustle, passion project. Yeah. At least I want my passion project to give me some passive income lah. Yeah. That's my goal.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, of course, you wanna monetize anything that you do, right? Yeah. So that's that.
Yeah. So apa lagi? What else, man? Do you have any questions here?
What's the goal moving forward? I mean, for you, you already stated
okay.
Right? Basically, you want to move forward and carry on, try to improve the show, And those, I saw this tweet from MKBHD. Are you familiar with him?
Of course.
He
Marcus
said, hey,
Brownlee.
yeah. Someone kept asking him, hey, does it make sense to start a YouTube channel in 2024? And I like his answer. His answer has always been, create what you yourself would want to consume. Everything else after is just optimization.
Correct.
So to me, like, clearly you are creating something that you yourself want to consume.
Yeah.
Right? So that's great.
Yeah.
You're heading towards the right direction.
Yeah.
You just need to optimize yan lah.
Yeah.
And I think, you see, Barry, I think you don't get credit for this enough. For me personally, out of all the local made podcasts, this might be sentimental value or bias, if you might say, but I gain a lot of value from yours the most, because you talk about what's necessary. Not to say talk about sensitive issues or current media, current world issues, but rather one of the episodes that I truly look up to you was you bring the light to Grab drivers.
Oh,
remember that episode you did?
Yeah.
So you did that episode. So to me, I'm like, yo, this is good shit, because people always give shit to Grab riders, Grab drivers, but they don't know these fucking people are humans too.
Yeah.
What do they go through on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yeah.
So that to me is a value where you change people's perception into making people think that Grab drivers are just honest workers like you are. Doesn't mean you work at an office, you get to give them shit, right?
Yeah.
So you are basically changing the spectrum of view towards these kind of things.
Correct.
Larissa Ping,
Yeah.
a great idol here in Sarawak, at least, right? The land of Hornbill. People look up to her, and she's that. But then again, she has this sort of humility where she's like, I'm just like any one of you, and you bring that into light, rather than people see her as this very pretty person over over the top type of beauty pageant and all of that. Maybe that's not the right word, over the top.
Yeah.
But you get my point, right? Because from the lens of social media, it's different.
Yeah.
From the lens of a podcast, it's a lot more raw.
Correct.
And I think that value that you bring, where you get people to chat as raw as they can, with no filter, with no script, with nothing, that to me is a very valuable thing lah. I don't know what the rest of the listeners have to say about it, but for me, just that conversation, that rawness of it is, you don't get that every day. I wish to sit down and have a chat with, who's it? The tattoo guy that you just mentioned.
Brosnan.
Yeah, Brosnan.
Yeah.
I wish to sit down and chat with him.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
But instead, I don't have to do it. You did it for me already, right?
Yeah.
So it's getting to know real life story from real life people.
Yeah.
Because it puts perspective into other people punya pala na. And that's why I proudly say, whenever I talk about podcasts to people in Kuching na, I never fail to mention your podcast.
Man.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, I said you guys should check out barryanakbarim podcast, just check out his podcast, because it's something that is, to me, like I said, I saw when you started and to episode 53, like, dude, not many podcasters can produce that amount of content in the span of 3 years.
Yeah.
Alone. With no editor.
No PR.
No PR. Everything was done by you.
Yeah.
So if I were to be honest, for you right now, it's just a matter of time, man. It's just a matter of time where the whole thing will start to cook and it will show its result and you'll see it.
Yeah. That's what I believe as well. Like,
Yeah.
continue on producing. Someone might notice it and say, okay, I want to get this guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like,
Next thing you know, they're like, yo, I like the way this guy hosts his shows. Maybe we should make him our main host for another show that we have. Not necessarily about real life stories from real life people, but rather extraordinary stories from extraordinary people, right?
Yeah. I have another angles also lah, but it's still in the talking process.
Yeah.
But off podcast lah. I'll share all later on. Yeah. I agree with that, because I always listen to all these metal bands, all these bands in Malaysia and abroad. They would send demos to these big companies, big giant companies. Like, for example, I'm in a band. I want to be known, so I want to send this CD of mine to Luncai Emas to BMG or EMI so that these people could listen. And then this is how this big name started. It started off from the consistency in selling demos, giving demos.
Yeah.
And probably some of these artists also, they were found while performing in restaurants or bars or whatever. So that is what I believe as well in this podcast, where probably I just continue on being consistent.
Yeah.
Continue on bringing people, continue on shining stories of everyday people to those who really looked up to these people. For example, okay, Joey Hugh, who's an
Hey, Joey.
Yeah, Joey.
Shout
Hi,
out,
Joey. Yeah, Joey, you know, like for example, Joey. I'm sure there are people who looked up to her. Oh, nyata agent no, insurance agent. Macam ni, how's her life as an insurance agent? So that is where I'm just gonna bring her in, let her share her stories, and people do actually listen to her stories. And that's where I feel like I'm playing a part in the community.
You know how crazy it was, how you say your podcast was playing a part a lot. So Joey has been a friend of mine since I was done with high school, right? So Joey, we've known each other for almost a decade now. Yeah. But not until recently when you released that episode with her. So I did tune in Joey's episode. And then she was talking about how did she change, you know. She said that she developed this sort of like leadership skills and all that. And I'm a living proof that she did, right? So Joey that I knew, let's go back to probably 8 years ago. If you were to ask Joey like, yo, Joey, what do you want to eat? Anything can lah. Oh, where do we want to go? Anyway, I chincai only. Like she's not decisive.
Yeah.
But now she's like, hey, let's just go here. Let's just go do. And then you see that difference. And what's funny is that I came to that realization while I was listening to your podcast. Nice. Because Joey is a friend of mine. So this, yet again, could be a bias thing. But then again, I've seen the growth in Joey. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm glad that this podcast actually make me see Joey as who she is. Because you see, a lot of friends I say friends, because a lot of people that we grew up with fail to see the growth that happened within us.
Correct.
Because for them, we are still that same person that we were 10 years ago.
That's
right?
the bias lah.
That's why they stayed.
Yeah.
Because if you change, that's not you to them,
you
know?
Yeah.
Like probably some of my friends right now still think that I'm this prankster, this joker that I was in school, you know, who was running around, running amok everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But for those people who knew me, when they met the current me, they have a different thing to say about me, right? So it takes a lot for a friend to acknowledge the growth in their own particular friends, because if you see growth, most friends would say, I'm not used to this. Subconsciously saying that to themselves, like, I'm not used to this. The Barry I know was quiet. He doesn't talk much.
Yeah.
So it challenges the internal thing that they have inside, you know. They makes you, I don't like the new Barry. I like the old Barry more.
Yeah.
It's more passive.
Yeah.
He doesn't speak his mind. Contohnya lah, right? Yeah. But now you're a lot more, I guess, a lot more confident, even on camera.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, when I listen to that podcast with Joey, that is the best example I could think of lah. Like, damn, how come I just noticed that Joey really did change?
God.
Yeah, it really changed, because I remember she during my birthday this year, we did a birthday and we were out drinking at a bar. She was the first person to offer to pay everything first.
Oof.
Right? Which is something that she wouldn't do back then. Right? But now she has that sort of like charisma and bravado to like, okay, I'll pay first, you guys pay me later. Sounds like a good deal. You have to, you know, for friends, like you have to say, can you pay first? Or anyone can pay first. But this one, she took charge right into it. So that to me, I'm like, it opens my eyes. Like I'm like, so, you know, Joey did change.
I didn't notice this growth until the podcast. Something like that.
Exactly. So that was opening a new perspective towards someone. Like, you know, maybe it goes to this to the same for your guests, like for Dewi, for Larissa, for Brosnan, you know. So it really, maybe for yourself even, you know, it opens a new spectrum of view. How people view other people. So that's pretty amazing, man. It's very hard to do when you're trying to convince people that people have changed. Because they will always have the same mindset about that particular person.
I have the same thought about myself as well. When I'm gonna throw some shades here.
Do it.
I can sense that some of my friends do not like this new barryanakbarim,
Yeah.
because they still see me as, like you said just now, it was true.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Sorry.
very timid guy who doesn't speak up on his thoughts, who keeps things to himself. But the actual person is actually what you're seeing now on camera lah. This is the real barryanakbarim. It's just that when I was in high school, I don't have the resources, I don't have the chance to actually express myself. So when I started to do all this, when I started to have this sort of achievement, some of them would, I can sense that sarcasm in them. Very dah famous nak itu, ni mau lepak kita.
Yeah.
That I'm like, I'm the same old barryanakbarim,
Yeah.
It's just that it so happens that I have this.
Yes.
Why do I have to make some sarcastic remark like that?
Yeah.
I still want to hang out with you guys, man.
But if you keep throwing shades like that, of course I'm not gonna hang out with
Yeah.
you.
I stopped
Yeah.
hanging out with them ever since.
Yeah.
But those guys from Tabuan Dayak, I still love them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them.
Oh.
Yeah, Tabuan Dayak boys.
This is Francis and all.
Yeah,
Is it?
Francis, Joshua Kabing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Joshua Kuching, what's up, man?
Yeah. Yeah. What's for you, man? What's your goal towards the end of 2024, man?
I think I have reached a point where I really want to hustle for my company to get money. I want to bring in money to my company. Because all this while, I'm not saying that we didn't make money, but everything was all experimental. But now I have a rough idea of how things work. It's about time to print them lah. Yeah. I have a rough idea and I have proper guidance. I have proper mentorship as well. But before this, it was all experimental. Like everything that we do is all experimental. And we're very honest about how experimental it is too. So the goal is to make money. If you were to ask me how much I want to make for myself by the end of this year, we're looking at, because we're only 4 months away from a new year. 4 months away. Dude.
Yeah, man.
Fuck. We're not getting younger, dude.
Yeah, getting older.
Well, we're 4 months away.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to make at least 30,000 for myself.
Ooh, nice goals.
Yeah.
Nice.
30,000. It's a place to start. Hopefully by next year, it will grow to 50. It's not hopefully, it will.
It will. Nice.
Manifestation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking into making 30,000 for myself by the end of this year. Yeah, in total, 4 months left, which means how many is that per month? I don't know. More than 5K per month. So that's the goal I'm setting for myself. Because I'm trying to... I want to start a family lah. That's the main main goal.
That's the goal lah.
Yeah, the main purpose is to start a family.
Nice.
And yeah, I just want to see. I think I experienced the non-married life for quite some time. Right now, I kind of need some form of a new challenge, if you might say.
Yeah.
And having kids, they're not easy, man.
It's
Yes,
not.
you know, it's a
not.
really tough thing to do. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I can handle it, but I want the challenge to arrive lah.
Yeah.
It's gotten up to a point where it's rather comfortable now.
Yeah.
So, and comfort is always the number one killer to success.
Definitely.
So these days, whenever I feel uncomfortable, I just assume that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's the goal for me. Of course, for Oni, we're looking to have more corporate clients, events as well, international clients. And for Project Amnesia, we're just going to cook it for the local community.
Nice.
And if we have the opportunity to hold international festival from Project Amnesia, why the fuck not? You know?
Yeah.
Sorry, why the fuck not? I see my team. I see our team handling it pretty well.
Nice.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this morning I went to my kampong to check my tanah.
Nice.
For the first time ever I did
Okay.
that. I feel so old doing that, dude. I'm like, sitok lah tanahku. Okay. Minggu depan kita nyobunya.
Nyobu. Yes. Pasang tiang.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pasang tiang dah.
Okay.
It's just about clearing it because
yeah.
I'm thinking, you see, that's crazy because now I'm thinking of I should come up with my own farm and probably grow a couple of chickens or ducks, you know.
Let's go, yeah.
And if enough budget, babi lah. You know? So
do a studio, dude.
Yeah. A studio, yes.
Yes.
but I want to start doing something that is self-sustaining first.
Yeah.
So vegetation
Nice.
and crops and animals and all that.
We have reached that age, man.
Yeah, but I do find the appeal in that life. You know, like it's crazy because I never see myself as so. Last time my plan with that tanah is to create a cabin for me to go back and reset from town and all that, right? And after that, I'm like, while of course that is still the idea, but I want to have something to do, not just stay there,
stagnant,
right? So might as well bertukang or bercucuk tanam or
Kebun.
keep your pets alive, and not pets, your animals alive, right? So might as well. So today we just went through that. I was checking out. So me and my brothers were all in the same area. So I'm telling my brothers that, hey, I have plans to clear that area out. So if you guys are okay, I'll clear yours too. So let's see how that goes lah. It's just earlier stages still. Yeah. Fuck man, I can't believe I'm at that age where I'm thinking about that shit.
I never thought that I could talk to my siblings. Hey, what to do with the tanah, man? What you guys want to do about? I never thought that I could talk to my parents as well. Like, what are the plans?
Yeah.
To build a house, build a hut. Tanam ka.
But what's your take on that? Do you want to buy a house or you want to build a house?
Now,
sorry, lari topic a bit.
It's nice. It's a nice question. Now I have reached that phase where I want to build a house at kampong for me to unwind. That's all. Like the city life is for me to hustle hard. Like if I don't have this place, if I don't have this house, if I don't own this house, I would opt for a rental house for me just to stay on. But because I have this house now, so I'll just stay here.
Yeah.
And probably build a house for me to. I have my piece of land also. Every siblings of mine, we have our own land.
Dah cucok tiang lah.
Dah ada tiang lah. But it's just that the materialization wise to make it a reality to build a house, we need
That's
budget
still
for that.
a long way to go, man.
Still a long way to
still
go.
a long way to go, yeah.
So that belakang kira lah kelakar ya. But as of now, that's my goal lah. I want to build a house for me and for my family lah, my parents.
That's great.
Yeah. How about you? Same.
For me, because my parents will, they have 5 kids to pick from. So whichever they're comfortable with, so they can choose whichever lah.
Right.
So that's that.
Right.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah.
What else do we want to talk about?
More off camera lah. I have a lot to discuss, man.
Yeah. Let's do that.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say, man?
Yeah, closing speech.
Yeah, closing.
Okay, guys. If you guys have made it to the very end of this podcast, thank you so much for tuning in. And as a guest and as I would say a supporter of barryanakbarim's podcast, please do show your support to Barry. It's one of the most amazing podcasts and simple setup, simple concept, but it's really valuable, at least to me, and I believe some of you out there who are viewing things the same way too. So if you guys are one of that, be sure to hit like and subscribe. That would mean a lot to Barry. It would mean a lot for him to receive that kind of support. And just subscribe to him, man. All it takes is a click of a button and you're good to go. It doesn't mean much, but the subscribe would mean a lot to the creator. I know, because I'm still at 193 subscribers on YouTube, so a single subscription would mean a lot to him. So be sure to check that out. All of his podcasts. It's his 53rd episode. It's about to make it to 60. So and if you guys have any people that you guys want him to interview, just put it in the comments, man. People that you would want to have conversation with. So that's great.
I don't think this is episode 53. I think this is episode 54.
54?
Yeah, let me check.
So we're 6 episodes away. But so a way to wrap up this episode, I just, yet again, Barry, thanks for having me in the podcast. It's always a pleasure. Maybe next year we should do it again.
Yeah.
And hopefully everything that we just discussed about came to reality lah.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, man.
Amen to that.
And that's pretty much from me. Thank you guys for having me as well.
Thanks,
you used to have that, right?
No, I deleted it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Man, what I don't know. You're being too kind with those words.
No, dude. I truly mean it from the bottom of my heart, really.
Because I do feel small, to be honest, compared to you. You have all the skills that I want, man. Your speaking skills and all that. I feel small.
You see, that's the thing. From day one when you started this podcast, you've said all of that, and you've made crazy amount of improvement, right? And I don't think you should undermine yourself lah, because you have achieved greatness, man. And dude, you say that I have what you have. I say I don't have what you have. You have consistency. You have discipline. You know, you have like integrity. These things, as much as I don't like to admit it, which I'm currently working on, is something that I definitely lack. You know, so either way, we're helping each other out. You know, I'm like in my head, like if Barry can do podcasts every single week, why the fuck can I not do it? You know, so why am I struggling so much? So that's from my side, man. You know,
imagine the hate, the voices in my head when I tell myself, keep pushing yourself, yourself. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's what I've been doing lah. You know, I've been pushing myself and all. But yeah, thanks for being there for me, man.
Yeah,
thank
no
you
worries,
so much.
man. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for when I need some words of advice. I know that you'll be there. You see lokek ilmu. You have a lot of knowledge you have imparted. Thank you so much for that, man.
No worries, man.
Thank you so much for the support. And I hope that it doesn't stop here. More years, more decades to come.
Yes, man.
Yeah. We help each other out.
Definitely.
And, thanks, man.
No worries.
Thanks for being that guy in my life. Never thought that after high school we would be
exactly
this close.
Dude, what the fuck, right?
I never thought that we would.
Will you say fire the log?
Emerald.
Oh fuck.
Sapphire.
I guess in that way we're not, you know.
No. Yeah. So guys, thank you so much if you have made it to this end. 1 hour 30 minutes. Wow, that's long. It's a very long conversation, but we've shared a lot of things. Meaningful, valuable experience that we've shared. Follow Bryler as well. He is a very great content creator. I have to salute him. I have to applaud his effort. Although, don't undermine yourself, man. You've done so great content as well.
Yeah.
On TikTok, you have reached out thousands of viewers. You have reached out to many people who have been commenting, which I can also relate to the comments, especially on Bidayuh side. Yeah. And continue to do the things that you love, man.
Yeah.
I wish you success in Amnesia, Oni, and building that family life with your current girlfriend.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to see the small family of yours.
Yeah. That's the goal, man.
That's the goal. Yeah. Pray for me as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So that's the end of the podcast. Continue to show your support. Buy me a coffee if you want to sponsor this podcast. Buy me a few dollars for me to sustain all this equipment, softwares, hardwares, whatever they see on the camera here, whatever you see in front of your face right now. This needs to be paid. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube, Spotify, our podcast. It's barryanakbarim. See you in episode 55, which is 3 more weeks ago. Yeah, interesting guess. So bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
You are watching the Barryanak